All right, so our second example is extremely similar to the first one. So hopefully it won't be too different. Just kind of more practice with this, but it's just subtraction. So taking two polynomials and subtracting them. So part A says subtract that first polynomial right here from the second polynomial in a vertical format. So we want to subtract the first from this 3x cubed. So I'm going to write 3x cubed plus 4x squared plus 7x plus 12. And my second polynomial, or my first one that's written up here, I'm going to subtract this from this 3x cubed polynomial. So I'll just write it underneath, making sure that I put all the like terms where they're supposed to be. So I have negative 4x cubed plus 6x squared plus 9x minus 3. And I'm going to subtract the bottom from the top. So I'm going to say minus, and I'm subtracting all of that. So what are we doing here? We're just doing the exact same thing, except we're subtracting instead of adding. So I'm going to take the 3x cubed minus a negative 4x cubed. Well, if I take a 3x cubed minus a negative 4x cubed, that would be 3 plus, right? So I'm going to take a 3 plus a 4x cubed to give me a 7x cubed. And then I keep going here to my quadratic term. 4x squared minus 6x squared is going to give me negative 2x squared. 7x minus 9x is also going to give me negative 2x. And then 12 minus a negative 3 would be 12 plus 3. So that would be plus 15. So there's my answer for that first one when we subtract. All right. Looking at the other way to do things, which, again, there's really not a whole lot of difference except the setup of the problem and just how it's visualized. It says subtract 6y squared minus 6y minus 13 from 3y squared minus 4y plus 7. So I'm going to take this 3y squared minus 4y plus 7. I'm taking that and I'm going to subtract this 6y squared minus 6y minus 13 there. So that's really what we have here, is we have two polynomials, we're subtracting them. And the way that I would go about this, or this is just one of the ways you could do it, is just to distribute this negative to the second set of parentheses here. So we can treat this really algebraic, and we could say, okay, let's just rewrite this problem, and I'm going to have 3y squared minus 4y plus 7. But then I'm going to have, if I distribute this negative right here, really there's a 1 in front of this, right? Because I'm subtracting and there's a 1 there. And what I can do is I can always take subtraction and change it to addition. So I can take this and say plus, really this is a negative 1 here. I'm taking this negative 1 and I'm going to distribute it amongst the three terms inside that parentheses. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So 6y squared becomes negative 6y squared. Negative 6y now becomes plus 6y. And then negative 13 or minus 13 becomes plus 13. So, I mean, you can do it a couple different ways. That's kind of one way to look at it, is just to distribute that negative through so that you really just have a whole bunch of terms there. You have 6 terms and you're just adding everything up. And now we kind of do it like the first example. We're going to look at our like terms and we're going to combine them. So 3y squared minus 6y squared is going to give me negative 3y squared. And then I look to the next like term, which is negative 4y plus 6y. And that's going to give me plus 2y. And then the constants here, 7 and 13. 7 plus 13 is 20. So I'm going to take plus 20 there. And then there is going to be my final result. Okay, so there's our answer. If you want to give this one a quick try, here's another subtraction problem. Go ahead and pause the video, give this one a try, and let's see if you get the right answer. All right, so the answer to this practice problem should have been 8d cubed plus 13d squared plus 8d plus 1.